Good morning, students. Today I will discuss on the character of Viola in Twelfth Night, and obviously the role and significance of this particular character. Why did Shakespeare use Viola with so much importance in this particular play, Twelfth Night? Shakespearean heroines, as I've already mentioned in our previous lecture, that Shakespearean heroines in the comedies are mostly important so far as the comedies are concerned, and we can make a kind of a difference between Shakespearean female characters being presented in Shakespearean tragedies and Shakespearean female characters being presented in Shakespearean comedies. And we will find that if the Shakespearean tragedies are focusing mostly on the male characters, that is the tragic protagonists like Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello and King Lear, you will find certainly that in Shakespearean comedies the female characters are dominating. Okay, from the perspective of intelligence, from the perspective of realistic experiences somehow, and that is why we can find the characters like Rosalind, that is why we can find the characters like Beatrice or maybe Portia, and obviously Viola in Twelfth Night. So far as the importance, the role and importance of this particular character is concerned, we will find that Viola is playing the most important part in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. As I've already discussed, as you've already known, or as I've mentioned in my last lectures, or last one or two lectures, that Shakespearean romantic comedy like Twelfth Night, it was to be considered as a comedy of intrigue. And somehow, whenever you will deal with Twelfth Night, you will find that it actually, the main plot of this particular play, that is Twelfth Night, it centers around a kind of a love triangle that have been created between or among, you will find here that Duke Orsino loves Olivia, Olivia loves Cesario, that is actually Viola, and Olivia loves Cesario, and Viola loves Duke Orsino. So a kind of a triangle has been created. Now, if you think of Viola in Twelfth Night, you will find that in most of the play, most section of the play, Viola is assuming an attire of a eunuch. Okay, and who is a eunuch? You will find that an eunuch is actually referring to a person who is neither male nor female. Rather, it's a kind of a transgender kind of a personality. Generally, the question certainly arises, or the question generally arose, that why did Viola choose to be an eunuch in this particular play? And what is the basic necessity of using a male attire by a female personality like Viola? Okay, let us read some sections from the play, and then I will judge, or I will consider or comment on the situations that Viola have been thrust into. I'm reading from the opening sections. You see, it is the Act 1, Scene 2, where we can find for the first time Viola was being introduced. So it is Act 1, Scene 2. Enter Viola, a captain, and sailors. Viola says, "What country friend is this?" Captain says, "This is Illyria, lady." And Viola, "And what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium." So the fundamental question, the fundamental topic that is being addressed here, that at the very onset of this particular play, you will find that Viola cannot identify herself to be important or of sole importance here, because this is the particular situation when the shipwreck has been done, and somehow after the shipwreck, Viola considers that probably it might be possible that her brother, that is the twin brother, Sebastian is no longer alive. And if Sebastian is no longer alive, then what will Viola do in a particular society that is guided by patriarchy somehow? because you will find that during Elizabethan and Jacobean reign, and also in the later part or in the history of literature, you will find somehow that it was the patriarchy that was dominating somehow. And ultimately you will find that in each and every perspective, or from each and every perspective, the female, that is the single female without any male relation with her, it is very hard for them to live. There are multiple kinds of problems, multiple kinds of obstacles, so far as the physical and societal exploitations are concerned. The single female was exposed in face of these kinds of obstacles of the society in general. So somehow, when Viola says, "And what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium," then in the very next moment she says, "Perchance he is not drowned. What think you, sailors?" And Captain says, "It is perchance that you yourself were saved." And Viola, "Oh, my poor brother, and so perchance may he be." And Captain says, "True, madam, and to comfort you with chance, assure yourself, after our ship did split, when you and those poor numbers saved with you hung on our driving boat, I saw your brother, most provident peril, bind himself, courage and hope, both teaching him the practice, to a strong mast and leaped upon the sea, where like Arion on the dolphin's back, I saw him hold acquaintance with the waves so long as I could see." So there was, you will find that somehow Viola got a possibility regarding the life of Sebastian. Viola says, "For saying so there is gold, mine own escape unfolded to my hope, where to thy speech serves for authority, the like of him. And knowest thou this country?" So now you will find that before this particular section, Viola was completely unconcerned about the place. That means what is the name of this country, who is living there, and so and so. But whenever you will find that the captain informs Viola that probably Sebastian is alive, then only Viola thinks about the name of the country. So that is a fundamental position that she was continuing. And captain says, "Yes, madam, well, for I was bred and born not 3 hours' travel from this very place. And who governs here? A noble duke in nature and name." "And what is his name?" "Orsino." And Viola says, "Orsino? I have heard my father name him. He was a bachelor then." So that is fundamentally a question. Whenever Viola for the first time hears the name of Orsino, the words that she is speaking, he was a bachelor then. So it is actually indicating regarding the possibility of any kind of union between Viola and Duke Orsino. So what she was thinking at that moment, that is a fundamental question here. So therefore Viola says, "I have heard my father name him. He was a bachelor then." And captain says, "And so is he now, or was so very late. For but a month ago I went from hence, and then it was fresh in murmur, as you know, that he did seek the love of fair Olivia." And Viola gets the basic informations from the captain, that who is Olivia, a virtuous maid, the daughter of a count, that died some 12 months since. Then leaving her in the protection of his son, her brother, who shortly also died. So after Viola got the information regarding Olivia, regarding the place, that is Illyria, and also Duke Orsino, Viola, the final speech of Viola in this particular scene, Viola says, "There is a fair behavior in thee, captain, and though that nature with a beauteous world doth often close in pollution." So from the very beginning, from the very opening, you will find or you can identify the basic prudence that is present within Viola. What she says? She says, "And though that nature with a beauteous world doth often close in pollution." What does it mean? Actually, Viola is commenting on the general psyche of the human beings, right? It says that nature with a beauteous world doth often close in pollution. That means outwardly it might be possible that the people are good, but inwardly you will find that the mind of these people are polluted. So somehow it is not a simple word that Viola is speaking at this moment. Rather, it actually indicates regarding Viola's wisdom, what she thinks about the human beings in general. That is the fundamental thing that I'm trying to point out. And then Viola says, "Yet of thee I will believe thou hast a mind that suits with this thy fair and outward character. I pray thee." And then he says, "And I will pay thee bounteously. Conceal me what I am, and be my aid, for such disguise as haply shall become the form of my intent." So, conceal me what I am. That is the ironic line, probably. This ironical reference, the conceal me what I am. That means it actually indicates that somehow the captain has to conceal Viola's identity, her position, her reality. Okay, all these things have to be concealed. Why I am considering this as an example of irony? Because this particular deception, you see, that whenever Viola is in want of the concealment, somehow she will deceive others regarding her identity, regarding her position, regarding her social, and obviously so far as the gender is concerned, obviously you can find that the outlook is naturally being changed. And from this particular point of view, you can find that somehow Viola is not actually deceiving others, rather she's deceiving herself, right? So the theme of deception and self-deception, it lies within this particular time, or within this particular words that have been spoken by Viola here. So conceal me what I am, and be my aid for such disguise as haply shall become the form of my intent. I will, and now you can get the basic important lines. I will serve this duke. Thou shalt present me as an eunuch to him. It may be worth thy pains, for I can sing and speak to him in many sorts of music. That will allow me very worthy service. What else may have to time I will commit. Only shape thou thy silence to my wit. So at the very beginning, you will find that it is not the propositions from the captain that Viola changed herself and she is behaving in accordance with the societal norms and societal wants, you see. But ultimately, you will find it is Viola's wisdom, it is Viola's scheming, it is Viola who is actually thinking about her own existence and how she can become compatible with the societal needs and societal obligatory principles and so this is the first section where we can find Viola, and Viola is conversing with others. Again, if you think of Viola or consider of Viola in the fourth scene of Act 1, you will find that there is a conversation between Valentine and Viola, where it has been informed that Viola has already gained the confidence of Duke Orsino. And somehow in these few days you will find that Viola was very near to Duke Orsino. And somehow Duke Orsino, so near and so important, Duke Orsino considers Viola that he employed Viola in the most important incident of his life. And what is that? He employed Viola to be an envoy, okay, or a messenger, so that the relation between Duke Orsino and Olivia, it gets resulted in positively. Somehow that is a very problematic and very ironical situation, because at the end of this particular section, that is Act 1, Scene 4, we will find that Viola is, in an aside comment, she says, I will do my best to woo your lady. That is, it is actually referring to Olivia. But the aside comment says, yet a barful strife. Whoever I woo, myself would be his wife. So that is actually spoken by Viola at the end of scene 4 of Act 1. What she's trying to suggest here. That means from the beginning or the opening section, you will find, yes, Viola was very well of her possibilities. Viola was very well aware of her position and of her scheme. Okay, in my discussion, in the first discussion, this is lecture 1 on Twelfth Night, regarding Shakespearean comedy and its features, I have mentioned about the love at first sight kind of a thing, you see. And somehow you will find, as I mentioned there, that Duke Orsino falls in love with Lady Olivia at the first sight. Okay, similar is in the case of Viola. Viola she has fallen in love with Duke Orsino in the first sight. So you can find that the indication is pointing towards the scheming of this plot. That means she is very well known, she was very well aware of the particular fact that what will happen next, what will happen in the future. Okay, the next scene that I am trying to point, that actually focuses on Viola's temperament and obviously Viola's intellect. Okay, that is happening. This is the Act 1, Scene 5, where there is an encounter between Viola and Olivia. Okay, so enter Viola. Viola says, "The honorable lady of the house, which is she?" And Olivia says, "Speak to me, I shall answer for her." "You will." And Viola says, "Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty, I pray you tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very comfortable, even to the least sinister usage." And these are the parts of salutations, you see. Olivia says, "Whence you came, sir?" And Viola answers, "I can say little more than I have studied, and that question is out of my power. Good gentlewoman, give me modest assurance if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech." Olivia says, "Are you a comedian?" "No, my profound heart, and yet by the very fangs of malice I swear, I am not that I play." That is another indication that Olivia is suggesting to some extent that I am not that I play. That means literally it signifies that though I am playing the role of a servant, of a messenger, but I am not that I play. Or by extension you can think, though I am looking like a male, okay, but I am not that I play, rather I am a female. "Are you the lady of the house?" And Olivia says, "If I do not usurp myself, I am. Most certain, if you were she. You do usurp yourself." Now, point the words that Viola is speaking at this moment. These are the very witty and humorous kinds of words and it actually reflects on Viola's intellect to some extent. Viola says, "Most certain, if you were she, you do usurp yourself. For what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve." So somehow, Viola has come here just to make a match between Olivia and Duke Orsino. But ultimately, we'll find that she doesn't want to or let this happen, right? So Viola says, "For what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is from my commission. I will, with my speech, in your praise, and then show you heard of the message." And Olivia says, "Come to what is important in it. I forgive you the praise." That means the first part is not necessary. I just come to you the body of your message. Viola says, "Alas, I took great pains to study it, and it is poetical." Olivia, "It is the more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to hear you. If you be mad, begone. If you have reason, be brief. It is not the time of moon with me to make one in so skipping a dialogue." It actually indicates that Viola was in a harangue between her and the members of Olivia's household, that is Toby and others. Maria says, "Will you hoist sail, sir? He lies in way." And Viola says, "No, good swearer, I am to hull here a little longer. Some mollifications over your giant sweet lady. Tell me your mind, I am a messenger." And Olivia says, "See you have some hideous matter to deliver. When the courtesy of it is so fearful, speak your office." Viola says, "It alone concerns your ear." So that means I need you alone, okay? The other personalities that are present here, that is actually indicating towards Maria, it is not fruitful to me. "It alone concerns your ear. I bring no overture of war, no taxation of homage. I hold the olive in my hand. My words are as full of peace as matter." And Olivia says, "You began rudely. What are you? What would you?" And Viola says, the rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. Actually, what happened, that at the gate, that is the main entrance, Viola was treated rudely by Satobi Belt and others. Okay? And Viola now here says, the rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret at maidenhead. So again, the implication towards the deception part is, that is the disguise part. To your ears, divinity, to any others, profanation. And Olivia says, okay, give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity. Viola again begins, most sweet lady, and Olivia says, a comfortable doctrine, and much may be said of it. Where lies your text? So what is the subject of your salutation? What is the subject of your message? And Viola says, in Orsino's bosom. That means the subject lies in Orsino's bosom. And Olivia says, in his bosom? In what chapter of his bosom? And Viola, to answer by that method, in the first of his art. Oh, I have read it. It's hearsay. Have you no more to say? And Viola says, good madam, let me see your face. So Olivia is under the veil. And Olivia says, have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. And then unveiling. Look you, sir, such a one I was this present. Isn't that well done? And Viola says, excellently done. If God did all, that means it is not the effect of any kind of cosmetics and so. Olivia says, it is in grains that will endure wind and weather. That is, it is not the cosmetic powers that I am using at this moment. Rather, it is actually in grain, that is the original part that is present. Viola says, there is beauty truly bent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive. If you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy. So actually, Viola is actually indicating regarding the Olivia's decision regarding not marrying any persons, and therefore, if there may not be any procreation, any future generation, that means that particular beauty must not be reciprocated in the form of the future generation. And that's why she says, if you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy. The copy is actually referring to the future generations. And Olivia says, oh sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will, she is frolic in the words or wordings. I will give you my diverse schedules of my beauty. It shall be inventoriated, and every particle and utensil level to my will. As item, 2 lips, indifferent red. Item, 2 grey's eyes with leads to them. Item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me? Viola says, I see you what you were. You are too proud. But if you were the devil, you were fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompensed, though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty. Olivia says, how does he love me? And then Viola says, with adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fear. Olivia says, your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well diverged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension and shape of nature, a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago. And Viola answers radically. She says, if I did love you with my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial, I would not find any sense. I would not understand it. That means if I were at the position of Duke Orsino, probably your answer will not make me ascertain, okay? Ascertain regarding my lack of propositions and so. And Olivia says, why, what would you? Olivia is to some extent impressed, you see, by the wordings, by the behavior, by the behavior, and obviously the physical gesticulations that is made by Viola here. And Viola here, the lines are very important. Viola says, make me a willow cabin. So Olivia asks, why? What would you? And Viola says, make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contained love, and sing them loud even in the dead of night. Halloo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me. So these were the possibilities, these are the propositions that have been made by Viola. Somehow the words, okay, these are heard. The words are grave to some extent, and it actually reached Olivia's heart. Olivia says, you mind too much. What is your parentage? And Viola says, above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. So again, the indication regarding her disguise. Olivia says, get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send me no more, unless, perchance, you come to me again to tell me how he takes it. Very well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me. And she gives some kind of gift. Viola says, I am a feet post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, bracketly combines. Love, make his heart of flint that you shall love, and let your fervour, like my master's be, placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty. And when Viola exits, Olivia is thinking to some extent. Now, again, a love at first sight. Olivia falls in love with Viola, actually here, Cesario, regarding the appearance. And Olivia calls or recalls the wordings, what is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. I will be sworn the word. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, action, spirit, do give thee fivefold blazon, not too fast, soft, soft, unless the master were the man. How now, even so quickly may one catch the plague? Here plague is love. Methinks I feel this youth's perfection with an invisible and subtle wealth. To creep it in at my eyes, well, let it be. What ho, Malvolio? She calls Malvolio. Malvolio comes, and Olivia gives a ring as a token of love. And Olivia informs Malvolio that the messenger had brought this ring with her. Okay, as a token of love from Duke Orsino. Return her this ring. So the ring episode is very important, you see. Okay, so return her this ring. So what does the ring actually signify? You will find that somehow with the help of this particular ring, Olivia is she's giving a proposal. She's sending a proposal to Viola. But what happens there? We'll find in the next section where you can get that Viola and Malvolio meets. It is the Act 2, Scene 2, where you can find that Malvolio meets Viola. Malvolio says, were you not even now in the Countess Olivia? And Viola says, even now, sir, on a moderate pace, I have since arrived at hither. Malvolio says, she returns this ring to you, sir. You might have saved my pains to have taken it away yourself. She adds, moreover, that you should put to your lord into desperate assurance you will none of him. And one thing more, that you be never so hardy to come again in these affairs, unless it be to report your lord's taking of this. So again the indication that you can come to Lady Olivia, but not with the message from Duke Orsino. And Viola is thinking, what does the ring actually signify? She took the ring of me, but I will none of it. And Malvolio comes, sir. You peevishly threw it to her, and her will is, it should be so returned, if it be worth stooping for. There it lies in your eye. If not, be it his hand that finds it. And Malvolio throws the ring in front of Viola and exits. And Viola, she is thinking, she is contemplating what is happening to her. What is the situation that actually leads to this particular crisis? Viola says, I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Fortune forbid. My outside have not charmed her. She made good view of me, indeed so much, that methought her eyes had lost her tongue. Yes, she was to some extent becoming dumb, right? For she did speak in stirs distractedly. There is the broken sentences to some extent. We're starting. She loves me, sure. Now, Viola can identify what is happening. She loves me, sure. The cunning of her passion invites me in this churlish messenger. None of my lords ring. Why, he sent her none. I am the man. If it be so, as it is, poor lady, she would better love a dream. And then the famous lines, disguise. I see thou art a wickedness. So disguise is wicked, wherein the pregnant enemy does much. Why disguise is being considered as a pregnant enemy? Because the disguise creates problems, deceptions. And the deception gives birth to multiple other deceptions. The problem gives birth to multiple other problems. The enemy gives birth to multiple other enemies. So the pregnant enemy does much. How easy? Now you can find that Viola is to some extent criticizing the female heart. Viola says, how easy is it for the proper false, an oxymoronic term, in women's waxen hers to set their forms. So how easy it is to set the forms or set the impression of love on the women's heart. Alas, our, that is the female kind, our frailty is the cause, not we. For such as we are made of, such we be. How will this fetch? So what will come out of it? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much on him, that is Duke Orsino, and she, that is Olivia, mistaken, seems to dote on me, that is Cesario, but actually Viola. What will become of this? As I am man, because I am Cesario at this moment, my state is disparate from my master's love. That means in this particular state I cannot express my love for Duke Orsino because I am just under the attire of a male. As I am a woman, which I actually is, now alas the day, what thriftless sigh shall poor Olivia breathe? So Olivia cannot get anything positive from regarding this love affair, and so, O time, thou must untangle this, not I. It is too hard and not for me to untie. So it's a as I've already mentioned, it is the comedy of intrigue. An intrigue has been created, right? Somehow you will find that so far as the plot is concerned, so far as the intrigue is concerned, it is at the highest point, you see? Okay, that the problem that have been created, this particular thing. Oh, time, thou must untangle this. And you see, the Viola expresses her incapability regarding the untangling of this particular knot that has been created, and she leaves everything to time. So that was the situation you will find. So somehow you will find that how Viola got deceived, how Viola got trapped in her under her own disguise or under her own deception, and how this leads towards the considerations regarding the problems of the plot itself. And this is another section that is that actually expresses Viola's temperament, Viola's position, Viola's frustration, and obviously it is actually indicating to Viola's intelligence any longer, ultimately. From another section, we can find the hint towards Viola's intelligence. It is the encounter between Viola and the clown. It is, you will find it in Act 3, Scene 1, line number 61, okay, of Arden edition. So here Viola says, this fellow, actually she is referring to the clown. Viola says, this fellow is wise enough to play the fool, and to do that well craves a kind of wit. He must observe the mood on whom he jests. So it is another kind of intelligence. It is another kind of, you know, the intricacy that you have to be complex, you see, to judge the characters properly. And that's why she says that this fellow is wise enough to play the fool. That means though Feste is playing the role of a fool, but ultimately he is wise enough. And to do that well craves a kind of wit. And if you have to play the role of a fool, you need a kind of wit. He must observe their mood on whom he jests, the quality of person and the time, and like the haggard, check at every feather that comes before his eye. This is a practice as full of labor as a wise man's art. So she could identify what is the basic crisis, what is the basic problem that is, or it is a very hard task to rail other persons, to criticize other persons. He has to quite contemplate on the situation, contemplate on the behavior of this man. So this is a practice as full of labor as a wise man's art. For folly that he wisely shows his feet, but wise men folly fallen quite taint their wit. So it is another section in this particular words, or in these lines you can get that somehow Viola is describing a kind of the intelligence. It is the outcome of the intelligence that you can get here. Another section that is important here is important where you can get there is a conversation that is going on between Duke and Viola. This particular scene is very important regarding Viola's considerations of war and of love and so. So I have to read this particular section where there is a song is going on. It is the come away, death, and in sad cypress let me be laid. It was a song that is sung by the clown. And after the song, or when the song is over, there you can get that the clown and others, the exit of these characters have been made, and Duke and Viola, they are left alone. Then Duke says, let all the rest give place. One more, Cesario, get thee to yon same sovereign cruelty. That means it is Duke Orsino who is actually pleading Viola to enter into again the Olivia's household. And he says, therefore, get thee to yon some sovereign cruelty. Tell her, my love, more noble than the world, prizes not quantity of dirty lands. That means my love is not actually focusing on any kind of material interest. Rather, I love her dearly, and that is so far as the heart is concerned, so far as the emotion is concerned. So, not quantity of dirty lands, the purse that fortune hath bestowed upon her. Till her I hold as giddily as fortune. But it is that miracle and queen of James that nature pranks her in attracts my soul. Viola says, but if she cannot love you, sir? Duke says, I cannot be so answered. And Viola, soothe, but you must. Say that some lady, as perhaps there is, hath for your love as great a pang of heart as you have for Olivia. You cannot love her. You tell her so. Must she not then be answered? So somehow you will find that it is Viola's interest or Viola's intricacy, or maybe Viola's wit or intellect, that actually she places Duke Orsino in the position of Lady Olivia. Okay. And then he says, therefore, sooth, but you must say that some lady, as perhaps there is, hath for your love as great a pang of heart as you have for Olivia. Actually, she considers herself to be at the position, and now she is placing Duke Orsino at the position of Lady Olivia. You cannot love her, you tell her so. Must she not then be answered? Duke says, there is no woman's sides can bide the beating of so strong a passion as love doth give my heart. That means the intensity of passion that I do feel for Lady Olivia, it cannot be possible to be present in any other person or any other woman. No woman's heart so big to hold so much. They lack retention. Alas, their love may be called appetite. You will find these are the ironic lines somehow, because you will find that somehow the love for Lady Olivia is not a kind of a platonic and spiritual love that Duke Orsino is stating at this moment. Because at the very beginning, at the very onset of this particular play, we can find that he was very passionate, and he was considering himself to be completely driven by the passion of sexual love. But here he says that alas, their love, that is the female love, may be called appetite. You see? No motion of the liver but the palate that suffers surfeit, cloyment and revolt. But mine is all as hungry as the sea, and can digest as much. Make no compare between that love a woman can bear me and that I owe Olivia. Viola says, yes, but I know. And Duke says, what dost thou know? Viola, too well, what love women to men may owe. So here, these are the indications you see, and these are the ironic references. Viola states that somehow I know what a woman feels regarding love, regarding the compassion and so on, or the emotions. Viola says too well, what love women to men may owe. In faith, they are as true as heart as we. And then she's referring to an imaginary sister. She says, my father had a daughter, loved a man, as it might be perhaps, were I a woman, these are the situational ironies you see, were I a woman, I should your lordship. And Duke says, and what is her history? Viola says, a blank, my lord. She never told her love, but let concealment, that is suppression, like a worm in the bud, feed on her damask cheek. That means she couldn't express her love in front of a lover, and ultimately it is just like a worm. A concealment is just like a worm, and it is actually ruining the flower from within. She pined in thought, and with a green and yellow melancholy, she sat like patience on a monument, smiling at grief. So actually you can find that Viola is discussing about her own position. Okay, and you can find, so far as the love theme is concerned, you will find that the effect of love is so powerful, the effect of love is so great, and you can find some, that is, it is far more powerful than that of Duke Orsino. Was not this love indeed? We men may say more, swear more, but indeed our shows are more than will. For still we prove much in our vows, but little in our love. So that is the fundamental position you will find, that so far as the love is concerned, so far as the situation is concerned, you will find that to some extent Viola is criticizing the love affairs of the males, or of the male love actually. She is criticizing the physical perspectives that have been attached with the male psyche regarding the love, and so it is not the emotion that is being attached, rather some sexual appetite that is being working so far as Duke Orsino is concerned. So somehow these are the situations where you can find that it is Viola who is actually ascribing her emotion, her feeling, her presence of mind, her situation. Everything has been discussed in these particular sections. But there are other sections too. You will find that Viola got to some extent, she was desperate regarding her own positions, and she was completely, frustrated regarding the situations that have been thrust her into. So far as the situation, I have to mention here the particular section where the duel scene has been taken in consideration, where Cesario had been attacked by Toby and Andrew Okchi, and it was probably Antonio who actually who failed to identify Cesario, and he considered that it was Sebastian who was in problem, and ultimately he saved therefore Cesario from any kind of duel or any kind of direct confrontation with the male part, you see. So these are the situations, and somehow at the end and towards the end of this actually indicates, this particular situation is indicating the helplessness of Viola in such a kind of a society that is completely driven and derided by the patriarchy, completely guided by patriarchy and the male figures that are present here. So Viola's reactions with Lady Olivia, or her confrontations with Lady Olivia, her interactions with Duke Orsino, her interaction with somehow it is Feste, and also the characters like Toby Belch and Andrew Okchik and Fabian and others, these are somehow very interesting so far as her psyche is concerned, so, or maybe the reflection of her psyche is concerned. And that's the situations that have been caused her, or the situations that have been caused her to behave accordingly, the situational crisis that she was in, the problems of a female, a single female character in patriarchy. All these are actually referring to the different sides of, or different sections of her psyche, her mind, her intellect, her situation. Okay, and somehow at the end of this particular play, when everything got resoluted, you will find with the presence of Sebastian, at one point you will find some situational crisis have been considered. At another point you will find that the crisis that have been made regarding the disguise of Viola, that have been got resoluted with the presence of Sebastian. At the end you will find that she had got what she had dreamt for, and that is Duke Orsino. Somehow, if you try to consider or make a contrast between Orsino's love, the concept of love, and Viola's love, that is the concept of love, you will find that Orsino's love is flawed to some extent. And that's why even in a minute, when he finds that somehow it is not Lady Olivia, rather it is Viola, okay, whom he must love, then ultimately the changing of his mind, it takes even in a minute. But ultimately, so far as Viola's temperament is concerned, Viola's love affair is concerned, you will find that Viola's love was much more powerful than that of Duke Orsino. Whereas Duke Orsino loved the concept of love more than the person whom he loves. So far as Viola is concerned, you will find that Viola behaves according to her own intellect, behaves according to the situation, behaves according to the depth of her love, of her emotion, and so in this way Viola plays most important role regarding the construction of the plot, regarding the theme of the plays, the themes of the plays to be in general. And so far as the intellect is concerned, Viola has to be treated as one of the most intelligent characters of this play, that is Twelfth Night. If we take Feste to be at the first, and obviously there is Maria, and you will find that Viola plays a big role in doing so. Why this particular thing is important to us? Because in spite of not having the such kind of exposure regarding the society and societal problems and complexities, and so where we can find Feste was in, or maybe Maria was in spite of being a part of the upper strata of society, that is, we know that Sebastian and Viola, they were the twins and they are coming from the upper strata of society, but the situations that she was in, it actually changed her a lot. And when you can break yourself in such a way, when you can break yourself to be compatible with the societal needs, with the situational crisis, then you have to say that this particular character, she must have some potentialities within. She must have that kind of intellect within, so that she became successful in becoming, in changing her, in behaving accordingly, in placing her in with the situational needs or so. So that is the fundamental thing that we have to discuss here. And ultimately, whenever you will deal with Viola, or the importance of the character of Viola and her role, her speeches, her behaviors, her doings, and her presences, maybe, so far as the love is concerned, or the other sections you see, it is better to relate Viola with some of the characters from Shakespeare's other plays. To be specific, you can relate Viola with Rosalind, obviously, from As You Like It, as I mentioned, and you can relate Viola with maybe the characters like Hermia and other one, that is Helena. And obviously the wisdom that Viola had, you can relate Viola with Beatrice, you can relate Viola with Portia from Merchant of Venice, because Shakespearean women, as we know, that these are very much important considering the Shakespearean romantic plays or romantic comedy. So that is the fundamental thing that I have to discuss here. That is the importance of Viola in Twelfth Night. And please go through the texts carefully, the sections that I have mentioned here, and maybe the sections where Viola comes and there are ample kinds of encounters with the other characters. And I think the just form of reading of the sections, it will help you to think and consider Viola better and her importance to the play much more. And so today up to this, and in our next class we will discuss on the importance of the music, that is the role of music in Twelfth Night, and also the other sections that are remaining behind. So today up to this, thank you.